everybody and welcome back to RikuNaceLand. My name's Jules and you know it, today it's Rusty Lake Friday again. I'm a bit late with recording because I had to move and stuff. That's also why the green screen might not work that properly. I hope you don't mind it. And well, now we're gonna play Cube Escape Seasons, so the game that came out right after or before or kind of on the same day as Cube Escape the Lake, which we played before. I think next week we're gonna do some theories, but today I want to play another Cube Escape game, so that's what we're gonna do. And let's start in spring 1964. Here we are, the first classic room that we're in, because well, at the lake we were at the lake, so it's just the cabin, but here we have a real room. And what we got here is an empty pan, some wood and some bird food. Nothing to do here. Here's some water, cold and warm or whatever. And well, this doesn't help us either because we don't have anything like fire or something like that. Well, this is stuck, so we can't do anything with that. And here we have a beautiful window and apparently a photo piece that was stuck behind the curtains or something like that. And well, there was a woman for a second. Well, as we know, it's Laura. But after approaching the window, there was the shadow instead. There's Laura again, but now she's gone, so it's kind of random. There we got her again. There she was again. There she is again. But no more shadow apparently. Well, maybe later on. Here we got Harvey appearing for the first time, because in the lake he was there. So this is Harvey. Well, he's not looking as gorgeous as he's gonna look in the future games, but we can feed him with some bird food though. And now he, well, gave us an uncooked egg for some reason, and there was the shadow again, by the way. And we can turn on the light, and now we can see that there's a photo piece behind that lamp as well. Here we got a telephone. All that you touch, you change. One of the typical Rusty Lake sentences said throughout the game, just like the past is never dead, it's not even past. So all that we touch, we change. It's kind of important because, as we know, in some parts of the Rusty Lake games, it's about time traveling, and Cube Escape Seasons is the first one that includes time traveling in a way, because we change our past later on. But that's something we're going to do later. We can adjust the time, but that's not going to help us with anything right now because we don't know what time exactly we need. There's a flower here, but we can take it. Here we got some matches. And here's a spoon, and that's it in these drawers. So here we got a candle. We can light that candle. And I think we can also light some wood in that oven or whatever. We got Prozac. Prozac, as we know, well, we don't really know it, but it's a drug, 10 milligram of Prozac. Whatever it might be for, we can't really read it, after all. The question is, can I eat Harvey's egg? But that's apparently what we're gonna try, after all. And Rusty Lake, mental health and fishing. So the person we're playing, whoever that might be, is apparently interested in Rusty Lake, mental health and fishing. So there seems to be a mental health institution in the lake. Well, and fishing, well, we know about that because of the lake. So this hints to us being the same person that we're playing in Cube Escape the Lake. Well, and this hints to the egg becoming something. Well, we know of course it's gonna be a cube, but still, it's something. Here's another piece of this photo. And we can't get any reception with this radio. And this thing is locked. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fill this pan with water. Yeah, shut up. We're gonna light up this stove, and now we can cook the egg. And now let's try to eat it with this spoon, right? So here we go. this happens whenever I try to eat an egg. That's black. And there's flies coming out of it. And there's always this sound coming out of the egg. But let's be serious, we got a black cube, so something bad after all, of course, as we know. Yeah, this is too hot, so let's just... No? Okay. So what we can do now is we can put this photo together. And since this is blinking already, it shows us that we can put the black cube here. And now, wherever there had to be a jump scare sound. Now we're done with spring 1964 for now. And let's go to summer of 1971, so 7 years later. Let's see what happened in summer 1971. The atmosphere is kind of blurry, it's a slight touch of red in it, so something is not that good, I guess. Well, there will be blood, nothing to argue there, because, well, that's pretty clear about how it's gonna be. What do we have here? Of course, there's a hand coming out of that flower pot, and it gives us a piece of the next photo, apparently. Here's another one. Here we got some matches again. Nothing here, and a screwdriver over here. So we can't open this. Here we got some sort of lamp, but there's no plug for it. But what we can do now is we can obviously put two of these photo pieces in here already and light this candle. And I almost didn't see it. There's the tape here. And what do we have here? It's the same that that was here 7 years ago. So the person we're playing is still taking Prozac, which might be a, well, a mental drug, I don't know, or depression or for whatever, since there's also a flyer for mental health and fishing here. Also, remember that song, since we got that tape, we might actually just put it in here. My favorite song, let's listen to it. Oh, it stopped playing, my bad. No, we destroyed our favorite song. Crap. Okay, we got some tape now. Although I don't know if that's gonna help us with anything. Here's the plug, but we need the screwdriver to fix this, and now looks like there's blood here, but there's also a photo piece on the wall. So let's just put that right in here already. And let's see what else we can get here. Here we got another photo. It's the one we, well, kind of fabricated in spring 1964. There's nothing in here this time. Oh, I bet. This is still stuck, but we can fix it with a screwdriver, can we? Oh, we can, apparently. So we can light that stove now? Yes, we can. And what else could we take? What else could we put in there? Except for the tape, of course. No, that's not working. So let's just see what else we got. Here's another window. Oh, the window again, but it's night this time. And we got a, well, binocular. It's more like a, well, whatever. Let's look at the moon. Oh, I hope you're not listening to this with headphones, because wow, this sound is really annoying. But here we got 1487. That's the code we used in the lake as well. Her eyes look quite frightened. I'm not so sure if that's on purpose, but well. 1487 is the code we're gonna remember, and now he's dead. Also, this seems to be the room that we're standing in, because there's the window, and right behind the window there's this this fireplace, and there seems to be the radio here or something like that. So apparently, in a way, we're looking at ourselves, or a different version of ourselves. So the question is, are we playing the shadow or the woman? I'd say we're playing the woman, of course. We also saw her outside the window, but that doesn't have to mean anything, because we can also see her in the moon. Maybe it's some sort of parallel universe, or because of the time traveling, that we can exist 2 times at the same time. So now he's pretty much done for, but 1487 is the code. that we're gonna use. I'm just gonna close the curtains because I'm frightened. And now we can finally see something. And for example, there's a key behind the lamp. Here we got Harvey again. He doesn't sound too good though. But he doesn't want to eat any tape either. Okay. So we got a key. Maybe we can open this drawer now. And here we have to enter a code. So let's try 1487. I don't know why I'm thinking of that code. No, what did I do? 1487. And we got a live shrimp. And what else could we do with the shrimp? Then put it inside this oven. And of course, whenever you try to bake a shrimp, there's a picture of the Rusty Lake coming out of it. And for those of you who have played Roots, we know this sort of picture from the last scene of Roots, where Rose is holding the baby in her hands. And the baby's covered in a blanket that looks exactly like this woman's dress. And for some reason, she's becoming a corrupted soul here too. And we got the second black cube. But it's kind of the same picture, although the quality is kind of shitty here. But, well, that's okay, I guess. Yes, the picture is not complete, but we can put the black cube in here already. But we still need to find that last piece of the photo. Let's just put the tape in here and light it on fire, because that's what you're gonna do when you got tape. Here we got the last piece of the photo. So we can put it in here and advance into the future. It's the same year, but now it's fall 1971. And in the meantime, there's been a lot of stuff happening apparently, because the whole room is covered in blood and this looks like a chicken. I'm just saying that it looks like a chicken. Nothing to argue? Okay. Here we got that flower again, but nothing's here anymore. Not even the hand coming out of it. We got a bloody knife. That's a bloody knife. Sorry. No piece of the photo here this time. And now we're told that the past is never dead. It's not even past, the kind of most popular phrase in this whole series, I guess. This time the fire's already burning, so that's something we don't have to do this time. Rusty Lake, mental health and fishing, and I'm afraid I will do something horrible. The woman, I guess, that we're playing is still taking Prozac. So the question is, what exactly does this drug do to her? Does it really help her? Or maybe she's doing something horrible because of the drug? We don't know that yet, but maybe it's all been fate. Anyway, we got the first piece of the photo, so let's put it here. And here we got kind of a bad reception. Okay, it's saying 6, so we're gonna press 6. It says press 1. Here we got the picture of the lake. 2x. Oh, that hurt. It's 4 o'clock. Oh, I think you guys know that guy. In case you never saw this Easter egg, well, that guy. Newsflash, woman found dead, no sign of killer. That's obviously about us. And, well, there's gonna be a detective looking at that later on, but that's another game, Case 23. That's coming up later, of course. Channel 5 is what we're gonna take now. Here we got the chicken again. It really looks like a chicken, so number 3. And this is our favorite song. But it's in the forest, and we know this picture of the forest from the... I don't know, that's pretty loud, isn't it? I'm just gonna do it like this. This is all pretty annoying. Anyway, murder or suicide is a pretty great question as well, because apparently we are the shadow as well as the woman, so is it a murder or is it a suicide? Are we killing ourselves or is somebody else included? I know that this newsflash in the news would mean something different, but when we kind of translate it into the Rusty Lake kind of style, then this could really mean, did we kill ourselves in another way, or have we been killed by somebody else? Channel 5, and here's that pretty guy telling us to do number 4 now, and that's where we get the black cube. And now some blood is dripping from the ceiling, so that's what we're gonna look at now. And apparently the lamp doesn't look as good as it did before. But now it's a lamp again. And there's a piece of a photo falling down once again. Although we don't know where it's gonna land this time. It's fall outside, but we knew that before, of course. I'm just gonna leave these curtains open. We can't turn on the light this time. Although the lamp is existing again. Hey, Harvey. Well, and we can hear the difference. In spring 1964, Harvey sounded like a bird. In summer of 1971, he sounded, well, a bit frightened, but this time he sounds like a woman being murdered. Since he's a parrot, he's probably just making sounds that he's heard in the past, so probably sounds that he's heard in the recent past. And since there's all this blood here, well, that's what we're hearing when we're looking at him. And apparently we just killed Harvey, which is something we normally shouldn't do, but he got a piece of the photo. Why ever he swallowed that. Nothing down here this time. We can't open this once again. Here we got the two pictures that we finished before. Why ever that was happening. Another piece of the photo. Nothing to do here. We don't have a pen yet. And the last piece of the photo. So we're done with that. And we can just enter this cube. And we're done with fall 1971. And last up is winter 1981. And the whole room has changed. Somebody's built something. But what could it be for? Well, we can try to figure that out. Apparently the phone is not working, so maybe this machine connected to the phone is the clue to, well, to how to use the phone after all. Here we got some matches and a hatchet. Here we got some hints. Change the past, that's what we're gonna do. Blue cube plus fire means escape memory. Cube plus fire means escape memory. Phone plus fuel means change past. Well, we know that blue cubes help us to turn back the time. But for some reason this is for an escape memory, whatever that means, or for escaping a memory, I don't know. And the phone plus the fuel means change the past. So, I don't know, maybe she's invented another way to travel through time. But now we got... It's 1 o'clock, no, it's 10 past 1 p.m. So maybe we should... Okay, this time the clock is turning backwards. Might be a subtle hint to what's gonna happen next. Because as we know, we're gonna turn back the time. And inside here, it's me. Inside here we have a mirror, and it's showing us that we are in fact the corrupted soul. But does this mean we're not the woman? I don't think that one thing means that the other thing can't be true. But after all, we got the blue cube, so we can travel through time now. But only after we completed this picture. As we can see, by the way, the candle's getting smaller and... getting smaller and smaller every time we're here. But let's talk about that later again. Here we got some different times. And a piece of the blueprint. Another piece of the blueprint here. Here we got a mixer. The oven's still stuck, of course. Here we got a glass. We can fill that with water, but why would we? But we can open this window. Somebody seems to have been afraid of something coming in or getting out. Maybe even ourselves. Nothing in the lamp this time. I don't know why a lamp would do this move when we click it, but that's just Rusty Lake, right? So let's look at everything again, because there has to be a second piece of the photo somewhere. Let's just put these three in here already. Also, we can light the fire. about. Where's that last piece of the photo? It's up here. Okay. So we're done with that now. We can now travel back in time. But to do that, we might need these clues. For example, in spring, this is the first picture we completed. It has to be 9:05. So let's travel back to spring 1964 and turn the clock. To 9:05, and this time this clock is turning backwards too. And yes, it's still us. And we got some stuff that might help us. For example, we can now use this little shovel to get the flower. Or maybe not. It was a dead flower, but we're gonna talk about that later because we're gonna find something else now. But at first, let's fix this radio. Maybe we can now get a reception here. Yes, and of course, when you turn on the radio, there's a key coming out of it, like every good radio. Well, we got a code for this. Maybe it's 1487. I'm just guessing though. And it's working, and we got a little seed. But as we've seen, we also got this thing. So let's just open Harvey's cage. He's sounding like a normal bird again. And well, he's sitting here now, so he kind of wants to get out, I guess. In order for that to happen, we should first take this pot with water. Stop the fire from burning and use this wood to open the window, because for some reason we can't open it manually because it's too heavy to lift. Now Harvey's gone. Maybe that's gonna help us in the future. I know it will. And what's left to do is we can now plant this seed in here. And well, let's see what's gonna happen with that in the future. So let's move back to winter 1981. Because what we can see here now is, for example, there's a big cactus here, and we can just take this cactus fruit because we planted that in the past, kind of. So what else do we have? We can also go to summer and spring 1971. For summer 1971, which is this picture, we need to turn the clock to 5:24. So 3:55. That's what we're going to do now. It's 3:55 and the clock's unlocked, and we got, well, a tool that can help us fix this oven. Now that we can finally open it, we can also light it on fire. I'm not so sure if that's the point of this. Maybe we should just see what's happening, because apparently this is leaking and we can't really fix it, so maybe the leaking will produce some problems or something that will help us in the future. Because now that we're back, we can see that right here there's a fungus growing, a mushroom, so we're gonna take that. And the last thing we need is 11:25 in fall. 11:25. So we're back here now. And there's the clock. 11. What did I say? Crap. Didn't I say 11:55 or 25 or something? 25. Okay, for some reason it didn't make this unlock sound that it usually does. But we got matches now, so we can finally light up this candle, which makes that we lit a candle in every time zone. What we can do now is we can go back to winter 1981, and since we've burned this candle in every season, are you kidding me? Did the game just crash? I hate everything. Just saying. Okay, I'm just gonna refresh the page. Yes, so here we are again. Back in winter 19 whatsoever 84, I don't know. Well, as we can see here, in fall 1971 somebody died, which probably was the woman, Laura, meaning us. And what we got here, well, the candle burned down, and inside the candle there was some Prozac. which is probably something we should take because it's the drug we usually take. Anyway, we got a fungus here, we got this cactus fruit, and we also got, well, Prozac, but we're still missing something. The question is, what exactly are we missing? Well, we can see here, there's a parrot outside, might be Harvey, but how do we attract him? Maybe we should play his favorite song. So that's what we're doing, and here we got Harvey, and he's bringing us a flower from outside. So now Harvey's not dead anymore, he has survived, which is kind of important for the future games because, well, Harvey's one of the main characters as we know. So we now got everything that's here, and we can see there are 4 lights here that are not lit up or whatever yet, and there are 4 of these machines here, but they're not filled with anything. So let's just start with number 1. Number 1 is the flower, apparently. Let's just put the flower in here, mix it up. It's not working, maybe we need water, so let's just put some water inside this glass, mix this up. It worked. And now let's see, where can we put this? Maybe here. Let's turn this on. And this is number 1. Yes, perfect. This was just pure luck, by the way. So the second one, what's the second? I think the cactus. Yes, the cactus seems to be the second one. Let's put it in here. We don't need water for that. And let's see. Is this one the second one? It apparently is. So the third one will be the mushroom. Let's put the mushroom in here, and well, we need water again. And now can somebody explain this to me? Well, there was the forest again that we know from other games. For example, from the pictures in Theater. It has a deeper meaning, but I don't really know it yet. But and also the sound in the background. It was not that creepy, it was kind of beautiful, so I'm not really getting that. This is the third one, and yes, we did it. It was the third one. I'm really lucky this time. So the only thing left is Prozac. We also need water for Prozac, of course. Who would want to swallow a pill without water? Well, maybe I would. But anyway, Prozac juice. We don't drink it. Maybe Harvey wants to drink it. No, apparently he doesn't. So let's just put it inside this machine as well. Turn it on. And now we can... well, not exactly pick up the phone. I really hate this part of the game because it's never working for me, and I'm always forgetting what I'm doing wrong because everything's turned on. I can turn off the light, but that shouldn't matter. We can't pick up the phone. Well, when we push this button, the phone starts ringing. And we try to pick it up, but nothing's happening. Question is, are we missing something, or am I just stupid? I'm probably just stupid. Oh, we can't pick it up like this, but if we push this, it's starting to ring. Maybe we have to be faster. But I don't think so. Well, we did everything in the right order. Because, well, these 4 are these 4. This thing is turning yellow as well. These are all turned on, because if they aren't, well, we can't push this button. But we turn it on, so we can actually push this button. But there's nothing happening when we try to pick up the phone. So the question is, once again, why the hell isn't this working? Nothing left to do here. We can't kill Harvey again or anything. Not that I want to do that. Just had to try. There's nothing inside this oven because we can't open it. Well, so maybe there is something inside it, but that doesn't matter. We could obviously light this on fire again, but that shouldn't matter anyway. We can mix some water. Not that that would matter. But at least it's fun, right? Ooh. Oh, let's see. Did we miss something? Well, we can still travel through time, but there's no reason for us to do that. So the only thing left to do is pick up this phone. But that's not working. So I'll be back in a second because I'm really not remembering what I'm doing wrong. See you in a second. Okay, here we go again. Of course, this is just the same mistake I'm always making. Because obviously, well, this machine, whatever it's trying to do, let's just say it's trying to kill the shadow or to turn us back into the woman. That's obviously not gonna help us if we do it in winter 1981. So we should do that before it's trying to kill us. So maybe in 1964. We built this machine, so now we can just call ourselves from the future to the past to turn ourselves back into a normal human being, into Laura, instead of being the shadow. And now, the whole room is disappearing, just like in Samsara room, by the way, where we were free in the end. But now we can see all these cubes flying around in winter 1981, so back in the future, there are all these cubes flying around, but we shouldn't be dead because, well, we didn't kill ourselves. But there's a tree here. And we know that the tree might mean something, but there's also ourselves standing here in the room again. Well, the tree might just be the tree in front of our house that we always saw. It's winter now, so, well, there are no leaves on it or anything. But we are standing here. This time we're not being killed. We're still standing there. We're still alive in winter of 1981. Well, so what we could see here is that obviously we are playing Laura, and as we saw, there was a flyer of Rusty Lake Mental Health and Fishing, so this leads to the conclusion that we are also playing Laura in Cube Escape the Lake. So these games are connected, of course. Well, the question is, of course, why was she taking Prozac? Why was she taking this drug? Apparently it was some sort of mental illness, because well, she was fishing at this mental health institution in Rusty Lake. So something seems to have been wrong with her mind, but it might also have been because she was so paranoid, because she knew that something bad was going to happen. And well, due to her family history, that's, well, yeah, we can understand why she's worried. There were a lot of people dying there and killing each other and stuff like that. So if she knows about that, then we know why this happened. But still the question is, well, we know that Laura is a reincarnation of somebody else. The question is, of course, when she's a reincarnation of another person, to say it this way, well, there had to be a reason why this person was reincarnated. And that would be, of course, that he wanted to still be alive in this other time, but he can only still be alive if he also got the memories that he got before, well, that he had before he died. So Laura should have been told what happened to her past life, or she's actually remembering it. Either way, she should be smart enough to not only figure out how to turn back the time and everything that she actually did, but shouldn't she have known what was gonna happen before? Because the person she was in her past life knew a lot of stuff, and should have also known what was gonna happen. Also, the question is why she has Harvey in her cage, because we know that she's connected to Harvey, of course, but they know each other good enough that she wouldn't, well, kind of have him in a cage, would she? But maybe this wasn't quite thought through. Maybe I'm making a mistake, of course, that might be true too. But maybe this was just one of the first two games of the Cube Escape series, and the Rusty Lake crew didn't think this through, and didn't have the whole story in mind yet. So maybe that's the reason why she's holding, or why she's having Harvey in the cage instead of just flying around, because, well, she knows Harvey, Harvey knows her. Harvey wouldn't just fly away or anything, so why keep him in a cage? But that's just something I wanted to add to this whole thing. Well, I'm still thinking if this tree that we saw in the end had a deeper meaning than just being the tree in front of the house, because as we know, in this Wheel of Life and Death that we see in the other Cube Escape games, I'm also going to talk about that in one of the next episodes though, because it's really connected to the Hinduism, more than I thought before. But let's just stick to the one we see in theater. There was one part of it, one segment, where there actually were some trees, so a forest or something. And we also saw in Birthday in the end, when we killed the white rabbit. He was right? He was white, right? Yes, the white rabbit. He was turning into a tree, a beautiful tree. Harvey was sitting on the tree, but that's not what I'm going to talk about now. That's something for when we play Cube Escape Birthday. But what I was gonna say is he turned into a tree, so the tree is a part of this whole thing. But the question is this tree that we just saw also a part of it? Because, well, we died, but we changed our fate, because the past is never dead, it's not even past. So we didn't actually die, so we shouldn't have been turning into a tree or anything. And also there would be some other stages coming first. But maybe this tree does have a deeper meaning. Maybe it is a tree that we've seen before. For example, in another game that plays in a... well, that plays earlier than Seasons, or at least earlier than the ending of Seasons, so earlier than 1981. There has been somebody turning into a tree, and he's still standing there outside of that window or outside of her room or house. Just a wild guess, because I really have no clue. For example, the white rabbit died in front of the Vandermeer house, and this apparently is not the Vandermeer house unless she's really redecorated the whole thing. Might be possible, but I'm not so sure about that. So just a wild guess, as I said. Anyway, if you have any more clues to anything that you saw in this game, or if you want to add anything to my conclusions or to my theories that I just announced here, feel free to tell me about it down in the comment section below. As you know, I'm always interested in hearing your opinion, well, about the game, about the theories, as well as, of course, about the video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. And, well, thanks a lot for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe, of course, if you like this stuff and don't want to miss another Rusty Lake Friday. I think, but I'm not sure, next week we're just going to talk about Samsara, so not the game Samsara Room, but about the whole Hinduism stuff, and maybe some theories about Caroline Islander and stuff like that. But maybe we're also going to play the next game, Harvey's Box or Arles, or, well, I don't know. We're going to see about that. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in this time. I hope you tune in next time again. Until then, of course, have a great day, great evening, great morning, and of course, an awesome night, depending on what time it is when you're watching this video. So until next Friday, bye everybody.